Today guys, we got some aluminum beadlock wheels and we're going to show you how we put it together on this Hyrax tires, and we actually upgrading the SCX10 II. So those wheels and tires going to go on the SCX10 II, and we're also going to put a Fusion, a 40 amp 1800 kV. So we're going to show you how we doing all this today, and let's get to it. Guys, it's got this little screws right here that we got to remove, all 6 of them, to take off the hubcap right here. We're going to remove all the screws back here, and that will get the rim taken apart. Let me show you how that get done. And these screws will take all the pieces apart. This piece in the middle, that piece on the front piece. So it's pretty easy to deal with. There we go. This is one piece of it, and here is the other piece. Now we're going to get one of the tires and put one of the tires on the rim so you can see. So first of all, you got to push this piece in here. You got to get that piece of metal inside of the tire, like so. Pretty easy and simple to do. Now that it's sitting on in there, you can take this one, put it just like that. And this side, you just got to make sure that you line the holes up together so the screws can go in pretty easy. And you got to get that in there like so. That's it. So one of the things that I like to do is just take something thin and put down in one of the screw holes to make sure that they line up perfect. So I have this thin piece of metal right here. I just push that down and then make sure all the holes line up together so the screws can go in pretty easy. So this is what I'm doing right here, getting that together, and then we can put the screws inside. Now it could be a little bit tricky, guys. You got to put some pressure on it. Got to take a good deal of pressure to get the very first one in there. Now the first screw is in. We got to do the same thing on the other side. Put some more pressure down on it and just that turn it. All right, so we get 2 of the screws in there, and now we can put the rest. We're going to do some time lapse and get it over with. So now one of the technique is to don't screw one screw all the way down. You got to keep going around so the wheel can lock properly. You don't want to pull one end too much, so you don't want to ruin the screws because the threads are very fine. So what you're gonna do, you just go around like so. Just keep going around a little bit. And as one get tight, you just stop and just keep going around. So it's pretty easy to do. And now I'm gonna do some time lapse so we can get it over with. Now we complete the wheel and the tire. So it's pretty easy, guys. Pretty easy to do. And now we're going to remove the 6 little screws in here. What those 6 little screws here does is to give you access to put the nut. There you go. This is your hubcap. And now you have access to put the tire on the truck, and you can put the nut in here. All right, so what I'm going to do here now, we're going to putting the others together, and we're going to do some time lapse and get the other 3 rims up on the tires. Guys, we got the wheels and tires all mounted up, so this is completed. Now it's ready to go up on the truck, and we're going to move on, put the Fusion inside of the SCX10 II. Guys, we're about to remove the gearbox with the motor and the ESC and all that from inside the SCX10 II. So I'm going to start by removing the drive shaft right here on the gearbox. I'm gonna take these 2 little screws out here so I can remove that drive shaft. All right, let's get some time lapse going. The 2 pieces of drive shaft is out from the gearbox. So now we're going to go ahead and remove the cover for the ESC. Alright, so we get the cover off. We had to be protecting this gasket here because this is what's going to keep water from getting inside of the receiver box to protect the receiver. We can pop these 2 wires off. There goes your receiver. And then we're going to slide these 2 wires out here. So now we're going to pop the ESC out. Double-sided tape holding it down. ESC is off, and we're going to move on to remove the gearbox and the motor from the chassis. Just going to cut this zip tie here to remove the servo wire and the ESC wire. That is off. So let's flip over now and remove the gearbox. All right, there's a couple of screws on each here to remove that gearbox. Let's get busy. Gearbox just dropped down. There you go. Now we have the motor and the gearbox out with the ESC. We are going to remove this cover right here, and we're going to get to the spur gear and the pinion gear. Alright, so there goes your pinion, there goes your spur. So we got a metal pinion gear and a plastic spur gear with a slipper clutch right here. Alright, so our job now is to remove these 2 screws right there, and the motor gonna come off. There goes the motor with the ESC. So here, I think we're going to use that pinion gear again. So we're going to remove the pinion gear from here. There we go. It is a 13-tooth pinion. Now that we get everything out from the gearbox, we can get rid of the motor and the ESC. So there goes the Fusion, guys. And there goes your pieces of lead for the program card. 2 pieces of lead for the program card, HobbyWing stickers, manual, 2 zip tie, double-sided tape. Guys, we are ready to put the Fusion on the gearbox, and let me show you how it goes. And you got to remember, this is how the gearbox sit down, so you want the Fusion cord to be on top like so. So just like that. And we're going to take one of the screws, put it in there, and 1 screw is in. And now we're going to put the other one inside. Alright, so we got the 2 screws inside, and now we can adjust. They can move back and forth like so. So we can adjust it. We're going to put the pinion gear inside now. You got to remember to put it on that flat piece of shaft right here that the screw have to go onto. And you put that right there like so, and then you tighten it. Pretty tight there now. So now we can move the motor down so the gears can line up. So now, guys, we can put the cover for the spur gear and the pinion gear back together. It's just 2 screws holding these things. Pretty simple to go back together. This is one of the easiest gearbox I ever worked on. Very, very simple. 2 screws holding along this thing here, and easy to deal with. Okay, that's it. Gearbox cover is back together, and now we can put this up on the vehicle. Here's the issue that I'm running into. The Fusion is a bit longer, so the battery box is in the way, because this is where the gearbox supposed to sit on right here on this 4 little holes here to screw down. This spot right here, and when you put that in there, nope, Fusion is knocking the battery box, so I'll have to cut that battery box. I'm just gonna zoop piece of this thing out here. Trust me, I don't need that to stop my flow. All right, so let's cut this off. All right, so we get the battery box cut. So let's check this out now, see how it goes. Now we got one more issue here. We got this piece of plastic right here. What is knocking? Because see the screw hole right there? We want to get up here, and this is in the way. So we're definitely gonna snip this off too. So I'm just gonna take the pliers and get this piece off. Okay, so let's check it out now and see how it goes. Perfect. We got absolutely nothing now stopping us. That's it. So now we can put the drive shaft back together and put the screws at the bottom of the gearbox, and everything is in place. So we had to do a little modification, you know, but that's what it takes when you put it in a bigger motor, and it works perfect. Guys, I'm thinking to fit the extra piece of battery box right here. So I'm thinking to cut off the sides and fit it in there. So let's do some time lapse and see what I can do here. So guys, what I did, I put a hole in the middle of this piece of plastic, and I'm gonna lift this up and push that piece of plastic underneath here. All right, so that's it. And now we're gonna take the screw, and that should hold down the both pieces of plastic together. Okay, we're back in business. So the battery have a full, blockage on the both sides, wouldn't slide through. And I think we wouldn't have a problem putting on the Fusion. Perfect. Now we just have to put back the dry shaft. Let's slide this dry shaft in right here. So we get one piece of shaft in. Now we're gonna put the other piece, and then the other one is coming right there. So we got 2 little screws going in there. Let's put those screws in there right now. That's 1. That's 2. So now we're gonna pull those screws together. Let's do some time lapse. We're gonna put the screws at the bottom of the gearbox. See if we can line this up, catch the first one. So now we get 1 screw in. We're gonna put in the rest. It's only 4 screws holding on this gearbox. So it's pretty simple to get in there. All right, that's it for the gearbox. It's time to hook up the receiver, and we are going to put the ESC wire on 2, and we're going to put the servo wire on 1. All right, so now we're going to connect the battery. Battery is on, and we're going to press the power. Power is on. We are using the FlySky GT5. All right, so steering is working. Let's get some throttle in there. All right, pretty cool. Reverse. All right, you're working. So now our next step is to put on the wheels. So let's get the wheels up. But before we get the wheels up, we're gonna put this stuff in place. This receiver here is too big for this box, so we'll have to keep this outside. So in the meantime, between time, we'll just cover up the box and don't worry about putting anything in there for now. We put some double-sided tape here, and we're gonna remove the back end and put this down. We're gonna put this right here. All right, so that's gonna relax right there. And now we can put the power button on this side over here. Now we did get a little piece of double-sided tape here. Let's find this and put this in. Guys, time to put the wheels. So we gotta remove those little screws here. Take off this hubcap. Got 6 little screws that we gotta remove here, so this hubcap can come off. Alright, so now we're gonna put the wheel up on the vehicle. So we're gonna remove the nut, and then we're gonna put the wheel up just like that. I'm gonna put this little nut back, and after we put this nut together, the hubcap gonna come over this nut, so you wouldn't be able to see that nut anymore. Alright, so we're gonna tighten this. Alright, so we complete the first wheel, and we're gonna move on to put on the other 3.